Don't forget, ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone is a real simple way to show your support for what's going on here week after week. Hi, everyone. This is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here in the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. This week's episode of Stop Writing Alone is sponsored by SamKimberlyDesigns.com. Sam Kimberly is a longtime friend of the Stop Writing Alone podcast from the beginning, and she's been a guest multiple times here on the show and has helped me so much as a guide on the side. But she, in addition to being a writer, is a clay artist, and she makes jewelry. She's made Christmas ornaments. I mean, I went on extensively about this in episode 96, but I wanted to tell you something that I have been remiss in explaining week after week, and that is that every single month in Sam Kimberly Designs, there is a featured product that has a charity associated with it. And this month, December, is Make-A-Wish Foundation. And Sam's got these beautiful pieces of art with a moonscape and stars, and it says wish on the side. And anybody who buys one of those particular pieces of art, a portion of the proceeds will go to Make-A-Wish Foundation. They'll make a great gift, but they're also great for, if you have an office space or any place. I mean, just go check it out. The link will be in the show notes. And yeah, we love Sam. So supporting Sam is, a great big hug to the Stop Writing Alone community. But thanks again for sponsoring these couple of weeks of episodes, Sam, and thanks for all of your support over these years here at Stop Writing Alone. But here's on to the episode that is sponsored by Sam Kimberly Designs. Hi, this is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. And it's possible that you've heard that phrase 100 times because I've said it at least that many times. I want to say that I've only said it 100 times, but it's probably closer to 100,000 times because almost every single week that I say that, I stop, I rewind, I erase, and I record it over again. And especially in the beginning of the Stop Writing Alone podcast, I did that multiple times. So, why am I so obsessed with this 100? Today is episode 100 of the Stop Writing Alone podcast. And as I was coming up on this episode and thinking about that and thinking about how did this happen, how am I at 100 episodes already? It occurred to me, real simple, big commitments, whatever they are, whether they are 100 episodes of showing up for a podcast, or a full-length novel, or a book series, or you've been writing every single day for the entire year or month, or whatever it is, any big commitment that you find yourself in, you got there by small consistencies. Either daily consistencies, weekly consistencies, whatever they were, you just did a small thing and you just kept doing it and kept showing up for it. And I think that's such a huge takeaway for me for this project of the Stop Writing Alone podcast, but also extending it to like any big thing that I want to take on. I mean, you think about it even in terms of like relationships, you think about it in terms of, like I said, writing projects, anything you want to do. It doesn't matter how big it is. The only way it's going to get done is through small consistencies. And for me in particular, and I'm sure this has to be true for more people, The way that I can be consistent, the way that I can consistently show up for myself and my passions over and over again is through the support of community. So while you hear my voice in solitude today, and I'm the host of this podcast and I produce it and edit it and all of that jazz on my own, it really is not a solitary endeavor because I am leaning on so much support that I get all the time, whether it's from my family here in the house doing whatever it is they can do to help support me, even just like being quiet for a bit so I can record or have a meeting, to just, really cheerleading me when I'm feeling like, what am I doing? To all of the people that show up in the Stop Writing Alone community for the live events, for reaching out to me either through email or direct messages, even just interacting on social media. I mean, to me, that's like a real connection, especially this year. It's like the closest we can get to each other anyway. So it's been really, really wonderful. And I thank you all, everybody that has helped me, whether it has been face-to-face or in those smaller ways. Every single bit counts. When you start out with a podcast, you have no idea if anyone's listening. You're literally sitting in a room and it feels very much like you're talking to yourself. And that is why there's a phenomenon in podcasting called pod fade, where after approximately 2 months, many podcasts disappear. They don't make it past episode 8, 9. Really, like episode 10 is a big deal. So when I got into this podcast, I knew that because I came out of a podcasting course where that was taught to me. And it was everything for me just to get past that week, just to get to week 10. And from that point forward, it has been 1 week at a time. It has been small consistencies week after week because it's a lot of work. I know it doesn't seem like it's a lot of work, but it is. But I still love doing it. I still love showing up here. I love connecting with everybody. So it's totally worth it. But it is fascinating to me that I have now shown up 10 times as much as I so needed to pass that bare minimum. So thank you all for helping me get to this point of personal accomplishment. And hopefully along the way, I have been able to help you in some small way show up for your small consistency that is going to reward you with a really big commitment. But honestly, the biggest thanks of all goes out to this next group of people for calling in the last pretty much week or so to share their thoughts on this podcast making it to 100 episodes. I know this is a weird time of year. I know a lot of people aren't listening on their regular schedules. People aren't participating on their regular schedules. And it's not just because it's 2020. December is just like a dip in participation. Everybody is just sort of hibernating, chilling out. Even I'm, low key during this entire month. So when you as a content creator reach out to the community and ask for somebody to show up and do something for you, just as a personal favor, particularly this month, it is huge when you get a response to that. So here are the calls we received this past week from our listeners, from our community members, from previous guests, all about their experiences with Stop Writing Alone. And some people have been listening from the beginning. Some people have come later on. But it's really, really wonderful to hear all of these reflections. So here we go. So as I explained, this is a weird month and a weird time of year to ask anybody to do you any kind of favor. So when I first put out the sort of call to action of, hey, episode 100 is coming up. Do you mind calling into the show to give your reflections on what you were feeling about Stop Writing Alone or what you learned from Stop Writing Alone? It was mostly crickets, except for one call. My first call in, shouldn't have been any surprise at all. Susie Evans Taylor has been such a beautiful life support to all things Stop Writing Alone from really the beginning. Susie and I connected really on a deeper level when we both got into Sam Kimberly's book clubs, the Creative Life Scholars as they are now. But Susie had been listening to Stop Writing Alone. And then she came on into the Happy Campers, as she'll explain. But, Susie is just always there. I feel like she's one of my greatest cheerleaders. And Susie, I cannot thank you enough for constantly showing up for yourself. As I keep saying, you guys all know, like, my greatest joy is to see you all show up for yourselves and your writing, because in turn that is, showing up for me, and I feel that great support. So Susie, thank you as always for all that you do, for being the badass that you are. Guys, I think we mentioned this in last week's episode, but just in case it was not clear, Susie took on NaNoWriMo with her arm in a sling because of a shoulder surgery she had, but she didn't let that slow her down. She doesn't let really much of anything slow her down. So here's Susie Evans Taylor, and if you're not following her on her blog Sticks and Stones, please go check it out. Thanks again, Susie.
Hi, Nicole. This is Susie Taylor in Ohio. I just wanted to call and congratulate you on 100 episodes of Stop Writing Alone. I can't believe that I've been listening to you for almost 2 years, and it's been amazing, and I just can't thank you enough for providing the encouragement and the will to actually start writing and doing what I've told myself my whole life I wanted to try to do but was afraid to. So thank you so much. I totally appreciate you and am so grateful that you started this podcast and that you have the Happy Campers. Just thank you so much for just being you, and happy 100th and for another 100 to go. Thanks so much, Nicole.
Up next, we have another Happy Campers member, Amy Strong, who has been part of the Stop Writing Alone Happy Campers from the beginning in April. But we didn't know each other before then, really. I think Amy was a part of the 52 Prompts group for a little bit before joining into the Happy Campers group. But she is really so amazing with how she jumps on all these challenges and is an inspiration to everybody in the group. When she gets excited about something, everybody sort of rallies around it. I mean, Amy's the reason we all did the 3-day novel. And if you didn't hear that episode where we went over that whole amazing experience, you definitely should check it out. But she's taken on Mill Wordy, which is writing 1 million words in a year, and has also been infecting everyone with the wonderful obsession of Kanban boards as we prepare for 2021. But Amy is she's done so much in this past year in showing up for herself, for her writing, for all of her creative endeavors, as she's about to tell you. She's working on Voice and Pen, which is going to be her company that sort of combines her passion for writing and also the voiceover work that she is going into now. I'm so excited for Amy and all that she has accomplished in this past year and all that I can foresee her getting into as the years roll out. So here's Amy. And Amy, thanks so much for being a part of everything this year, and especially for today for episode 100.
This is Amy Strong. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I discovered Stop Writing Alone podcast early 2020 decided to join the Happy Campers in April of 2020, and it was the single best decision I have made all year. I have actually started writing. I took voiceover coaching lessons and getting a demo done for that so that I can incorporate the two together. I've entered contests. I've gained friends. It's just been a fabulous addition to my life, and even my husband encourages me to continue writing and talking to the ladies because of the difference that it has made. And thank you enough, and look forward to future endeavors with the Happy Campers Club and Stop Writing Alone podcast.
So I've said that in order to have big commitments, you need to show up with small consistencies. And it is community that drives me to show up for those small consistencies. The next call in is an example of somebody who really helped me show up in a very big way. So, coming into 2020, I knew I wanted to do, for myself personally, I wanted to give myself the challenge of writing 52 short stories in 52 weeks. And as a content creator, I was just trying to think of like, okay, what can I do with that? I love my writing prompts. You guys all know that. I have all these tools. I said, I could really just share 52 prompts throughout the year. And I mentioned this to Sam Kimberly because we were talking so much. I don't know if you guys remember, but Sam and I were planning a writing retreat this past spring before the quarantine and everything happened with the pandemic. So we were talking a lot about different things, and I had said this was my plan. She's like, I think that's great. And I didn't realize that she went and shared it. She said to me, I want to share your 52 prompts idea with my community. Do you have a link? I did not have a link. I did not have anything. So I was like, whoa, I better put this together real quick. And I put it together, and it was late at night, and I was like, I just gave it to Sam. I was like, she probably won't even get to post it. No one will see it until tomorrow. And I'm not joking, about 15 minutes after I did that, somebody was already signed up and contacting me via Facebook message saying, there seems to be an issue with the sign-in process. Do you want to check it? And then I can help you out. And it was just like amazing. I was like, wow, this person is showing up and ready to help me right away to make sure things run smoothly. This is great. I don't even know who this person is. It wasn't even somebody that was in Stop Writing Alone before. Well, that person was Jackie Dana. And Jackie Dana and I have gotten to know each other very well ever since. But for the first month, 2 months of the 52 short stories, the 52 prompts, it was knowing that Jackie was there and really like there checking in on me that I was like, whoa, I really have to do this. Jackie's doing the stories and Jackie is following along. So, I mean, there are countless things that I can thank Jackie for. She's been a member of the Happy Campers Club from the beginning, and we've had so many long chats, but that first initial spark to the 52 prompts project that I put together for YouTube was huge, because it was still sort of like this nebulous idea, like maybe I'll do it. But yeah, Jackie made the commitment possible. So thank you so much, Jackie, for that. I think I've told you about that before. And thank you for celebrating episode 100. And also being on a ridiculously late chat with me while I'm putting together episode 100. You can always count on Jackie for late night write-ins and chats. But here she is.
Hi, this is Jackie Dana, longtime listener, first-time caller. I'm calling because once upon a time, I was a hermit, and I wrote in a little dark cave all by myself. And one day, somebody told me about Stop Writing Alone, because there was this woman who was doing these weekly writing prompts. And I thought, writing a short story a week for an entire year sounded like just the crazy kind of personal challenge I thought I would attempt. And from that, I ended up joining the Happy Campers Club and have been writing with other people and sharing my writing before it's done and sharing ideas and engaging in writing prompt parties where I have to write something on a timer and then share it without even having a chance to reread it. And even crazy things like a 3-day novel contest. And that all has happened since the beginning of the year when I found Stop Writing Alone. So I might still be writing in a cave, but it's gotten a whole lot more crowded. So thanks, Nicole, for everything you have done and for helping me grow as a writer and stop being afraid to share my unpolished work with other people and brainstorm, because that's really going to help me become a much better writer in the future.
Episode 64 is where you've heard Tammy Breitweiser last, I believe, here on Stop Writing Alone. When I interviewed her because of the amazing project she was doing of the 100 rejections. I have a feeling Tammy couldn't resist calling in because she is obsessed with all things 100. She's always doing 100-day challenges. And here I called out for a celebration of episode 100. So Tammy, I can't thank you enough for coming on the podcast, for being part of the Happy Campers, but also for tuning in to Stop Writing Alone from the very beginning. I know I've told you this before, but the listeners may not know that in the beginning, when there were days that I was like, who's listening? Really? Do I have to have this episode up at 5:30 in the morning? I knew Tammy Breitweiser had this podcast queued up to listen to on her way to work. So there were days that I said, well, I got to do it for Tammy. And I'll never be able to return that favor in any real way to you. So hopefully my gratitude will do. Thank you, Tammy.
Hello, this is Tammy Breitweiser. And congratulations on 100th episode. And how has Stop Writing Alone influenced me? Well, I started listening to Nicole very early, several years ago, and found out that we have a lot of personal things in common as far as writing and coaching, and we have that teacher soul connection, definitely, that's really strong. Nicole led me to the Artist's Way group that was hosted by Sam Kimberly. I had saved Sam's Medium post, but had not come back to it. And if she had not had Sam as a guest on the show, I would have not been part of that group that literally changed the trajectory of my creative life. It led me to uncover a lot of limiting beliefs that I had in myself and led me to my 100 Rejections project, which then landed me a guest spot on the podcast. And that conversation was really life-changing for me because Nicole asked me questions that I hadn't considered about my own project. Her group that I became part of the Happy Campers in April when she first did it, which led me to a writing group, a writing tribe that I truly trust. And I talk to these people collectively as a group. I talk to them individually, and it has really made a positive impact on my writing life as a whole. It's also nice to have some support that when you get a rejection or you have an announcement that you have a piece published, there's always people to celebrate with you, which is just amazing. So I'm definitely not writing alone anymore. To find me, you can find me on Instagram at InspireTammyB. I am the Accidental Inspirationalist. You can also find me at Twitter at TLBREIT. So thank you so much, Nicole. You have made a huge impact on many of us. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
I use no amount of hyperbole when I say that Stop Writing Alone would not exist if it were not for the next call-in. You may know her from episode 78. This is Nancy Canoe, and she's an editor and author. But I know her as my co-organizer of the Staten Island Writers Group. And that is where I first began to stop writing alone. And Nancy has done more for my confidence as a writer and my just helping my writing period than anyone else to date. You know, we've met consistently pre-pandemic, month after month, even though the group may have changed around us and we had some people that showed up very consistently and other people that did not. It was usually me and Nancy all the way through for years now, for literally years. So, yeah, I look so forward to us being able to get back into our regular groove of meeting, not only for the sake of our writing and our sanity, but also just because I miss my good friend Nancy. But here she is, and I couldn't be more grateful that she was a part of the episode 100 celebration. Thanks, Nancy, for everything. Legitimately everything.
Hey, Nicole, it's Nancy Canoe. Congratulations on 100 episodes of Stop Writing Alone. The 52 stories in 52 weeks has kept me writing through this pandemic. Writing slowly, yeah, but it's definitely been a source of much needed inspiration and focus. And the podcast we did together was loads of fun too. I missed our monthly meetups a whole lot and hope we'll be able to get back to them at some point. Here's looking forward to 100 more podcasts filled with inspiration and humor for all of us writers and fans out here.
Coming up next is Mike Maresca from episode 74. He shared this really cool project he was doing with his students in LaGuardia High School. And it was kind of full circle to talk to Mike because last time we chatted, we were still in a high school, except I was his teacher and he was the student. So I can't thank Mike enough for showing up for his interview, but also for showing up and giving his congratulations. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Nicole, Mike Maresca, special guest from way back in episode 74. Just wanted to call and say congratulations on making it to 100. That is no small feat. Can't wait to congratulate you at the next milestone, 200 and 300 after that. Hope to be back again soon. Just want to make sure you keep on keeping on. Cheers.
Up next is Michael Schwartz, my guest from episode 77, but also a very long-time friend of mine, as he will mention coming up. Michael's had a long journey to get to the point where he is showing up primarily for his passion of writing and songwriting. So it's a fascinating episode, but he is right here when he says that he is thus far the singular songwriter that I have interviewed for Stop Writing Alone. We will rectify that soon, but here's Mike, and thanks again for calling in.
Hi, this is Michael Schwartz, and I wanted to thank Nicole for putting together an amazing community of writers. I love what she's done with the podcast, and she was gracious enough to allow me to be a guest on the show as her first, maybe still only songwriter. And I've known Nicole for a lot of years, and she's just always a great person to chat with about writing or whatever subject. Congratulations on your 100th episode, and I hope you do 1,000 more.
Up next is Jamie Angevine, and it's kind of appropriate that she was the last call in for this episode because it's kind of like ending where it began for me. Jamie is possibly my first follower that I connected with, and there's a lot of power in first followers, not only for for them, but also for you as any kind of content creator, whether you're a writer or a blogger, or as I am here, a podcaster and a community creator. Jamie was possibly the first reason that I had to show up. I knew Jamie was listening, and that was enough. Tammy Brightweiser was also on that list, who you just heard from. She was one of the first followers that I knew was listening every morning. Tammy got me because Tammy was an early morning listener. There were a couple of times where I was like, maybe I don't need to release the episode at 5:30. And then I said, no, I know Tammy's listening on the way to work. But here's Jamie, and she references a time that we met. Oh, goodness. I guess it was last year. It might have even been longer ago. We had both been sort of following a friend of ours who was starting a coaching business, and we both wanted to support her in an endeavor that she was doing out in Brooklyn. And so we all, the three of us, met up in Prospect Park for a wonderful day where we sat under a tree and really just talked through all of the stuff that we wanted to accomplish, get done. So it was a wonderful experience for me to meet Jamie face to face all the way back then when we were both just getting to know each other. And even now, it just is always a great thing for me to think back to. Like, yeah, Jamie was there from the beginning. And here she is now, of course, showing up for me here on the 100th episode. And, I'll let her tell you the rest.
Hi, Nicole. This is Jamie Angevine. I just wanted to call and thank you for creating Stop Writing Alone. When we met last year in that park in Brooklyn, I knew I'd found a kindred spirit. Being part of this community, and especially Happy Campers, has changed my life. I feel like I've finally found my people. I'm so grateful for all the support and encouragement I've received. This year I accomplished more than I would have thought possible, especially given the year that it was. And I know so much of my success is from being part of this amazing group. Thank you so much.
It has been such a joy to reflect upon everything that everyone's been getting out of Stop Writing Alone all this time, because I already know all that I've been getting from it. So all of these calls just filled me up. And I thank you to all of you that reached out to me that weren't able to call in, but still, have been showing up and listening to the show or showing up in the community. It's been really wonderful. But I do feel like I do have to add these two more voicemails. I did get two more voicemails. Donato Fornabayo is a gentleman that I worked with at Curtis High School. He's a coworker of my husband, still there in the English department. And he's a little bit of a joker. And so when I found out, when I shared with my Facebook community, like my Facebook friends, that this episode was coming up, and if anybody wanted to call in and congratulate me or share anything on the episode, he called immediately, which was really, really kind of him. And he called in twice because that's who he is. I'll let the voicemails speak for themselves, but I will tell you this to give you a little bit of background on Donato, because I knew Donato first, long before there was ever a show called The Impractical Jokers. But as that show was coming out, before anybody heard about it, Donato wouldn't shut up about how his friends were starting a new show. Oh, you guys are going to love this. These are my friends from high school. These are my best friends. And they are legit best friends. This isn't like I just know this guy. So anyway, yeah, that's who we're dealing with here. Here's Donato giving me his Donato-ish congratulations for reaching 100 episodes. Oh, and he called twice. Did I say that? There's going to be two voicemails. Hold on for these.
Hi, I'm Donato. I am calling to be on a podcast. So go live. Hey, Nicole, this is Donato. This is so great. I'm so glad you chose me to be on a podcast, and I can help you. I can help your writers. I'm a writer myself. Is this on? Hello? I feel weird. I thought I was calling to be on a podcast. Obviously not. Get your ish together. Hi, Nicole. My name is Donato. Just calling in for the podcast. Eventually, hopefully one day we could do, something. Anyway, I'm a writer. I'm a teacher. And I'm an awesome person. So, hook it up. And, let's get it going. All right. Bye.
I do suspect now that Donato has this number, I will be getting, at the very minimal, weekly calls. Well, I appreciate it and I miss him because we haven't seen anybody because of quarantine. So, only one last congratulations for me that I wanted to share with you, and then we'll be out of here. But I'll give you the warning that this is utter nonsense of a mom asking her son for some congratulations and a 6-year-old staring at his audio track while he speaks. So do with that what you like. If this is where we part, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in this week, and thank you so much for helping me get to 100 episodes of Stop Writing Alone, and I look forward to at least 100 more. And now here's my 6-year-old. Hey, Alex, have you heard me say, hey, this is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to
the Stop Writing Alone!
That's right. And so today's pretty special because I've done so many episodes of Stop Writing Alone.
So this is the 100th one.
It's the 100th one. Is that a big number?
Yes. Hey, Mommy, I got one question.
Okay. What is it?
Can I tell everyone the Arabic alphabet's letters, please?
Go ahead. Go do the Arabic alphabet. You have to...
The puzzle.
You can't show the puzzle. This is a recording. People can only hear.
I can just... I can just bring them here.
That will take too long. You can just say the alphabet if you want.
Okay. Alif. B, D, Th, Jim, H, H, D, V, Ra, Z, Sin, Shin, Sad, Da, Dog, Da, Ein, Rein, Fe, Kaf, Jef, Lem, Mim, Nun, He, Wo, Ya. Or just a little like Hamza and Lam Alif in the word too. So that's what I said for now.
Did you finish the whole alphabet?
No. I just added Lam Alif and Hamza in there.
You just added some letters in all on your own?
I just added them.
Okay. So coming back to, can you come back on over here?
Yes.
So it's the 100th episode of Stop Writing Alone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a birthday.
Yup.
Did you want to say something like, congratulations, Mommy?
Congratulations, Mommy! You're in one of the biggest numbered of the Stop Writing Alone.
Was that an echo? Thanks.
An echo too.
All right, thank you, Alex.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's really it. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, I feel like I owed it to him to put that in there. But we'll be back to our regular writing chat starting next week again and rounding out this very interesting year of 2020. But I'd love to hear from you about what you are hoping to accomplish in 2021 in your writing, what you would like to see or hear from Stop Writing Alone as we move forward. So all the same ways that you've been able to connect before, the Facebook group Stop Writing Alone, at Stop Writing Alone on Instagram, calling in on this voicemail. I get the messages right into my inbox, so it's just like sending me a quick email. It's 646-907-9607. Or if you're on the Stop Writing Alone email list, anytime you get an email from me, you can just reply to that, and I will get that right in my inbox as well. But yeah, there will be some emails going out at the end of the year asking these questions. But if you're listening now and you've got some answers, I'd love to hear from you. But until then, thank you again for helping me show up in my small consistencies to reach this really, really great big milestone that looks like a big commitment. But you and I know the secret. It's just showing up in little ways every single day, every single week that make it happen. And having the support of all of your people around you to make that happen. Thank you. Have a great week. Happy writing. And talk to you next week. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter where I'm at NV_Rivera to find links to our email newsletter. Recording, hosting, editing, producing. It's so much work. Disaster has struck. I finished my coffee. Tell me coffee is coming. ko-fi.com/stop writing alone.